Here's the list of the ingredients and equipment that you need for the pie crust. And don't forget, you do have a paper copy. Okay, now the apples are ready. We're just going to sit them aside and we're going to start our pie crust. And my grandmother's recipe says a heaping cup of flour, a pinch of salt, a heaping big tablespoon of shortening, but I have tried to translate that into measurements that we can use without so much trouble. Anyway.
Rolling.
Okay, I just had to have a little intermission because Papa helped me peel the apples and he used my one remaining bowl to peel into, so I had to wash that up so we could get going. Okay, now for our pie crust, we are going to use 1.5 cups of flour. And I just use a 1/2 cup measuring cup and fill it 3 times to get 1.5 cups. And just level it off with your finger. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to leave that nearby because I'm going to sprinkle the counter soon. Okay, then comes the salt actually. And she said, my grandmother says a pinch of salt, and I just take the salt cellar and sprinkle for a few seconds. And that's a pinch. Then comes the shortening, and we're going to use for a double pie crust, we're going to use 2/3 of a cup of shortening. If you have these nice little bricks of shortening, there's a 2/3 of a cup measuring line. Well, it's not a line, but it's an arrow right on it, and you can cut right to the amount that you need. If you don't have this, if you have a can of shortening, which is fine, just take 1/3 of a cup measuring cup and fill it up twice, smooth it off the top, and dump it in. Okay, here's our 2/3 of a cup. I'm just going to put that in a minute. Before we do that, I'm just going to take the pastry blender, and this is the best kind of pastry blender. It has wires. There are some that have kind of blades, but you're going to see me doing this all the time, and if you do that, to clear it, if you do that and it's got blades, you're going to cut your finger. So I'm just going to mix the salt in a little bit there. And here comes our 2/3 of a cup of shortening. So we're just going to mash that in. And it takes a little bit of doing. And I always turn the bowl when I'm doing it so that you can just keep mashing in the same spot, but you're mashing different stuff every time. If you look and see, there's plenty on the blender, and I just rub it off with my finger and keep right on it going.
I can tell you, Marcus, it isn't half as easy as Grandma makes it look, because I do this too, and it doesn't go like that.
Okay, it's pretty fine now. You can see there's still some pieces in it, but it's good. Okay. Now we have to add the liquid. And for a single pie crust, it's 3 to 4 tablespoons. But for a double pie crust, like we need for an apple pie, it's going to be 5 to 8. And I'm going to try 6 for starters. And the colder the water, the better. So I got this earlier from the refrigerator, and I had ice cubes in it. So I'm just going to dip out 6 tablespoons. You could use 1/3 of a cup measuring cup. 3, 4, 5, 6. 1/3 of a cup measuring cup is actually 5 1/3 tablespoons, so you need that plus a little more. Then take your fork. It seems to work best with a fork, and just kind of mix it up. And I think I'll add just a little bit more. I'm going to take my measuring spoon and give it almost 1 more tablespoon. And keep mixing it up. Okay. Now, before you touch it with your hands, because it will stick to you like crazy, first of all, make sure you get it stirred well enough so that there's no flour left on the bottom of the bowl, that it's all incorporated into your kind of lump. Okay, now we're going to take the flour. I'm going to flour the surface. Now I just stick my hand in here and sprinkle it out on the top. I'm going to stick my other hand in and get plenty of flour on it, because it sticks less to your fingers, if you floured them first. So this came out pretty much in a ball like I wanted, and this is, don't forget, this is 2. So I'm just going to cut it in half with my knife, with my fork actually. Put half of it in the bowl and put it aside. And now I got my other one, the other half. Okay. I'm just going to roll that around, get a little bit of flour on the outside of it. And then we're just going to mash it flat with the flat part of your hand. Mash it into a circle. After you've done a few, pick it up, spread the flour around, mash some more, pick it up, spread the flour around. Well, I don't know how wide that is. Maybe, is that 8 inches, Papa?
I don't know.
I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take a little more flour out of my bowl, spread it out here, and a little bit on top. And we're going to take our rolling pin and we're going to roll it. And then we're going to hold up the pie plate to make sure that we've got enough. And it looks like we do. It gets the bottom of the pie plate dirty, but I don't worry about that. And then we're going to put the rolling pin on the far edge, in about 2 inches or so, and start to pick up the crust. And just kind of wrap it around the rolling pin. Put your pie plate back down, pick it up, and just fold it out as best you can. Now, I pick it up and lift it into the bowl, because some of it, into the pie plate, because some of it it's not tight to the bottom of the bowl, at the pie plate, we want it to be. And that's pretty good. We've got some empty spots here, and I'm going to take some of the excess that's over here and just fill in my empty spot. Just press it into place with your finger. Okay. Then you take your fork and make a lot of little stab marks in the bottom. That was a big stab mark. Okay. Now back to our apples that are ready to go. Bring them over. And I might have peeled too many, so we might not use quite all of it, but we'll mash it down and see how it goes. And it does shrink when it cooks. Yeah, I think we can go all of it. And then there's a little bit of juice left in the bottom. And we're going to put that on. Okay, just going to spread them around. And I try and make the curved part fit against the side, because I think it'll fit better that way, and kind of mash them down a little bit. That's pretty good. Okay, that's good. We'll just set that aside while we do our top crust. We're going to get some more flour. Sprinkle it out here, and I re-sprinkled my fingers and my hands as well. Take our other one, make it into a kind of a ball, start mashing it down just like we did. Pick it up, spread out the flour, pick it up, spread out the flour, maybe put a little bit on it, those few sprinkles.
And why do you like to have the flour there, Graham?
so it doesn't stick to the countertop.
Or to you.
Or to me. All right, pick it up one more time. Okay, now we're going to roll once, twice, once this way, once that way, well, maybe twice that way. And I'm going to put my rolling pin about 2 inches from the top edge, pick up the crust,
Trying not to tear it.
trying not to tear it, bring my pie back, and lift it up, and sit it on top. Well, that's pretty good.
That's excellent.
And then you're going to pinch the sides. Now take this, what's here on the edge, and you can make very pretty pinches by doing this kind of thing. Let's see, we got a lot that's overhanging. In case we want to do a little surgery on this crust, we can take some of this. And over here where it's a little bit thinner, we can just add it on. Flip it up, what's over the edge, you just bring it up and tip it up.
I didn't know that.
Now I tried a different pie plate that has handles on it out here that are attached to either side. It's very awkward to use. It's very hard to pinch the pie crust. It's hard to roll the dough and spread it out. After you've rolled it, to spread it out on this. So I don't recommend it. Just a plain round one with no handles is probably the best that you can do. Okay, then now that we're finished, take your fork, put plenty of holes in it.
Or spell out Marcus.
Or spell out Marcus like we did in the summertime when we did it. And we're good to go. Now we're going to put it in the oven at 425 degrees, my grandmother says, for 30 minutes. And then we're going to turn it down to 375 and bake about 20 minutes more. And how you know it's done is that you take your nice big fork and you stab right through it. And if it's soft and the apples just give way, then you know it's done. And 50 minutes is probably all it needs. But you have to test it, of course, and see. Okay, and there's an apple that I missed. Alrighty, I'm going to open the oven door. Set it right in. 425. And I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes. And 30 minutes, and we'll turn it down to 375. It wasn't hard. You did a great job this summer. You did it all with crust. And the crust isn't that hard. And I think if you have the video, I'm available for any more lessons that need to be had. Love you lots. Bye-bye.